I'm sorry, holding you from something?
Yeah.
What do you got going? What do you got next? What's after this? What are you doing after this?
Party.
What are you doing after this? I know we're not supposed to
Late
date
night
this.
rave.
I know we're not supposed to date the staff, but I was just wondering what you're doing later.
I've got plans. Going out.
Welcome to A Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert, and I'd like to start the show with a little bit of good news. The first voting in the presidential election starts in just 6 weeks. Are you registered to vote? Go register to vote right now. Because this is a good year to vote. A lot of people are looking forward to voting because in the latest ABC Washington Post Lunchables, Brunchables poll, Joe Biden leads the president by 15 points. That's good news. If these polls hold true, Biden could have the biggest margin of victory since Hillary Clinton was elected president in 2016. Now, Biden's in the lead in part because he's winning suburbanites by an historic margin. Well, that just makes sense. A lot of suburbanites can identify with the fact that Biden has one really cool black friend and keeps bringing him up all the time. But the main reason Trump's losing is his bungling of the pandemic response. 54% of Americans trust Biden over Trump on handling the COVID crisis. Yes, Trump has unfortunately alienated a group of single-issue voters, the anti-dying demographic. We've all seen their bumper stickers. So with Americans being infected by the tens of thousands every day, and the president's polls in free fall, yesterday, Trump announced that he is bringing back his coronavirus task force briefings. It's the reboot nobody asked for, Dirty Grandpa 2020. Now, the first briefing was scheduled for after I taped tonight's show, so I haven't seen it yet. So no one tell me which household chemical he drinks this time. Because remember, last time Trump did these briefings, his approval numbers plummeted right after he advocated injectable Lysol. So this time, his aides are saying the plan is to keep them short and tight. Now, I don't know how they're going to do that unless they fit the president with one of those doggy shock collars. We are making great progress on the quest for a vaccine, just like the great warriors who fought to defend the Confederate. Oh, God. That's just like when I tried to run into the street. I saw a squirrel. Now, we got a preview of the president's message from White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany, seen here trying to guess the immigration status of the guys fixing her roof. Today, McEnany said this.
These are going to be short briefings of the president mainly delivering information to the American people that's needed on therapeutics and vaccines, and the way this president has cut down barriers and got us to the point where we already have a vaccine in phase 3 clinical trial because of this president.
Oh, so he's trying to take credit for the vaccine. You know, I actually invented vaccines. I said, let's just take a little bit of disease and stick it into a healthy person. Same way I approach sex. Still, it's good that he's going to be talking about the new scientific developments and deferring to the experts, except he's not, because many of the briefings are likely to feature just the president. So instead of getting the old band back together, we're just going to get a daily performance of Trump's solo project, The Bleach Boy. Trump has been so busy shanking the response to the coronavirus that he forgot about his real passion project, Demonizing Immigrants. But he's gone back to the basics because earlier today, Trump barred the U.S. Census from counting undocumented immigrants, saying in a statement, "My administration will not support giving congressional representation to aliens who enter or remain in the country unlawfully, because doing so would create perverse incentives." And we don't want to give those aliens any more perverse incentives. I've heard what they're doing with those probes. He continued, "There used to be a time when you could proudly declare, 'I am a citizen of the United States.'" Yeah, that ended around January 20th, 2017.
Jokes like this make Stephen long for an audience slam.
Of course, there's the little fact that it's completely unconstitutional because it is Congress, not the president, that Article 1, Section 2 of the Constitution empowers to carry out the actual enumeration of the country's population. But Trump doesn't take no from the Constitution. He just grabs it by the preamble. Oh, speaking of unconstitutional, last night in Portland, Oregon, nameless federal stormtroopers again fired tear gas and flash grenades at protesters. Or as Trump put it, "We are trying to help Portland, not hurt it." You want to help the people of Portland? Don't send in goons to round them up. You buy their organic fair trade macrame. And one of the headlines this week was a group of moms who stood between the feds and protesters. Well, last night they were joined by a group of dads. Glad they were there showing their support, but that is classic dad. Well, sure, mom drove you to every dance practice, but I took you out for pizza right after recital. Remember that? I didn't know you danced. Local officials, I got to do that. Local officials aren't happy. Oregon Governor Kate Brown complained, "We cannot have secret police abducting people in unmarked vehicles. I can't believe I have to say that to the President of the United States." Really? You can't believe that? Because it's just one of a long list of other things you shouldn't have to say to the President of the United States, like, Frederick Douglass is dead. Don't inject bleach. And you can't date your daughter. But Trump believes he knows why the local officials are really complaining.
The governor and the mayor and the senators out there, they're afraid of these people. That's the reason they don't want us to help them. They're afraid. They're actually afraid of these people. And that's why they say, we don't want the federal government helping.
Oh, yeah, they're frightened because these protesters are incredibly scary. Like this woman doing yoga to distract the feds. That is naked aggression. And there's only one federal agency that can handle that sort of protest. This fall on CBS, OBGYNCIS. The cases are cold, and so is the speculum. But Portland is just the beginning. I'm not even going to look at you. But Portland is just the beginning. Because yesterday, the president suggested deploying his duck, duck, goose steppers to other cities.
This is worse than Afghanistan, by far.
Well, I guess that means we're going to war with Chicago for 19 years. Look, they gotta have some oil in that deep dish. Yesterday, Homeland Security officials confirmed that they are making preparations to deploy federal agents to Chicago. This is gonna get bad. Because Trump just wants more chaos. The conflict makes him feel like a big man. So these secret police are really being sent out to escalate the protests. And it's easy to escalate conflict in Chicago. Just wear a Cubs hat to a Sox game or put ketchup on a hot dog. They will cut you. And it's not just Chicago. Trump is planning a tour.
We're looking at Chicago, too. We're looking at New York. What's happening in New York? A place I love. I love New York. And look at what's going on over there.
Wow, that is chilling. Which is why New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio tweeted, "We've seen the chaos secret police are creating in Portland. We won't let it happen here." To which New Yorkers said, "You tell him, de Blasio." Also, shut up, de Blasio. You see, New Yorkers don't like Trump, but they aren't huge de Blasio fans either. And no one's really sure what de Blasio can do to keep out Trump's goons. So life's about to look a little different in New York. Just ask some of our most famous New Yorkers.
As the secret police descended on New York City, I couldn't help but wonder, if I have secrets, am I the police?
I kinda like the idea of having a strong man throw a bag over my head, as long as he has a really big baton.
And while federal agents were violating civil rights uptown, downtown Steve was protecting Miranda's rights.
Habeas corpus! Habeas corpus!
Now, if you're looking to escape the Trump hellscape, unfortunately, you now have one less option for your dream vacation because American tourists are now banned from the Bahamas as our coronavirus cases spike, which is a refreshing change from the usual reason that Americans get banned from the Bahamas, drunkenly trying to take a dolphin parasailing. The Bahamas is just the latest in a long list of countries banning U.S. tourists, including Japan, New Zealand, Canada, Mexico, and all 27 countries of the European Union. The downside is we can't go anywhere now. But the upside is, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Just got a lot easier. She's in San Diego. We've got a great show for you tonight. I'll be talking to climate activist Greta Thunberg, plus our friend Keegan-Michael Key drops by. But when we come back, meanwhile, join us, won't you?